north of your location.
Hostiles are attacking Alpha.
So much.
The enemy are attacking Objective Alpha. support the attack. Be advised, our mission is under threat. Refocus and attack.
Request overwatch! Grid as indicated!
We no longer control Alpha.
Need eyes on my lockstar! Objective Alpha is under control.
We've spotted an enemy sniper to your north. Keep your heads down.
We have depleted most of the enemy forces.
Attention, we need defensive support on the marked objectives.
in your area?
We need to rally defense on the marked objective. Support on the marked objective. Fire, the enemy has taken objective Bravo. We are attacking objective Bravo.
Our attack's working. Enemy numbers are down. The enemy has secured Bravo.
Okay, taking objective Alpha. Be advised, you're exiting the combat zone. Let's get back to your squad. We're targeting objective Bravo.
Be advised, the enemy has secured Bravo. We are attacking objective Bravo.
We have Bravo under attack.
must now hold objective Alpha.
The sector is lost. Set up defensive positions on the double. Be advised, you are exiting the combat zone.
Incoming attack. Defend the sector and keep the enemy pinned down. your force down by at least 50%. Don't let up.
Take this ammo.
Be advised, Alpha is under attack.
We need to rally defense on the marked objective.
Cover me! Offensive line over here!
Enemy forces are running low. Maintain your attack.
Antalya, when Ukraine had the maximum amount of leverage, and Russia did not have control over nearly as much Ukrainian territory as it did. Every single step of the way I said, now is the best time. Now is the best time. Yesterday's the best time to put an end to this. Russia is waging this war in their minds, in their estimation, in the estimation of the third world, at the behest.
It felt like Vladimir Putin was giving us a clue. His meeting with one leader in the Kremlin today, signaling where he might meet another, the United Arab Emirates.
I can't be the only one that thinks like this kind of grandiose behavior in like massive halls and shit still kind of hits. Like big ass, when you gotta do like world-changing events, like when you gotta do like negotiations, what happens with the rest of the globe, like you gotta do it at a big ass table. You know what I mean? You cannot be doing negotiations in a tiny table. Like it can't be a conference room table either. It has to be like, it has to have motif to it, you know? I don't know if it's because like I'm too Ottoman pilled or something, but like you need to have ornaments, you know? I think that's just me. Let's move. This man got so old. This man got so old. What the hell? Why? Because I appreciate the effort people put in, you know? Is it true most leaders in the West are Jews? No. What the? That's the guy who asked me to get the hell out of the country because he wanted to raise his pussy, by the way. That's that guy. Follow-up question. He's like, get the hell out. If you don't want me to have sex with racist white women, you need to get the fuck out of this stupid country. Nah, this is way too czar's pilled, man. Look how gaudy that bullshit is. At least have some taste. We're gonna do something grandiose.
Appears to be the most likely venue for the summit with Donald Trump after the Russian president.
Look how big the room is. That's crazy. Look how big the room is, bro. That's wild to me. Yeah. Ironically enough, the only Jewish leader in the Western world is Claudia Sheinbaum, and she's literally anti-Israel. Or at least a lot more anti-Israel than the American leadership is, certainly. I guess Zelensky too, but Zelensky doesn't really count. Zelensky is the one that's most over by Israel, ironically enough, also.
Let's go!
We have many friends who are ready to help us organize such
Come on!
meetings. One of them is the president of the United Arab Emirates, so I think we're excited. This will be one of the very
The last summit was in 2018. The next, in a matter of days, Donald Trump is desperate for a deal on Ukraine. And it sounds like Moscow sees benefits too.
This, of course, can become an important historic event. An event when Russia's position will be clearly conveyed to Ukraine. And we hope that this dialogue will continue even more actively, including in the
For the White House, though, the priority is peace. It had given Russia until Friday to end the war or face sanctions. News of the summit came after US envoy Steve Witkoff's visit to Moscow. But it doesn't necessarily...
Like, look at that table, bro. You gotta have a weird table. If you're gonna have a combo like this, it's gotta be on a table like that. This is nothing to do with like Vladimir Putin's position on this, okay? I am anti-Putin. I do wish, however, we had like similar weird shit. Justice League type table. Yeah, I don't like the color palette.
There'll be a ceasefire.
On the one hand, a summit could mean that a significant point of agreement has been reached, and all that's needed...
They're building the ballroom, dog? No, but it doesn't hit the same because it's not like, it wasn't built like 400 years ago. You know what I mean? It's being built now. It's going to be made with like drywall and all of the modern techniques that we adopt. It's not going to have like fancy ornaments that people literally toiled away making and probably died in the process of building. Okay? That's what I mean. There's like a history associated with this. It's just like lame ass, gaudy ass, drywall ass, gold coated bullshit. I don't like that. We need artisans, you know? Yeah, American culture. Trump's gonna serve McDonald's in there. Exactly. Your country has literally no history nor culture aside from Gunburger. No, I know. This is why. Wait, what? Someone says something about Catholicism. It's the one thing that I like about Catholicism. That's true.
Now are for the leaders to sign off on it. On the other hand, it could just be for show, a tactic by Russia to temper US anger. They could just be agreeing to something that gives the illusion of progress, which in reality delivers anything but.
Well, I know that
This expert in US-Russia relations sees grounds for optimism.
Trump is not stupid. You know, he has his own deadlines. If he has a summit for nothing, that would put him in a rather embarrassing position back at home and also with his allies, because he has invested a lot.
But Russia has left the American president disappointed before.
Every smart guy, every intelligent guy has to literally just actively lie on camera and be like, he's not stupid, he's a smart guy. That's just not true, man. Especially on this issue, he has actively looked like a complete moron. Bro, he straight up tweeted, Vladimir, stop. What do you mean? Only a stupid person would do that. 3 years of this war and Russia has won, yet talks of a settlement is insane still to the west. I mean, I don't think it's...
All right, we have captured
I was going to talk about this side of the story as well. Well, not this. And not this. And not this. And not this. Not this either. Where is it? Oh, here. This. Ukrainian support for war effort has collapsed. I think a lot more Ukrainians are aware of the situation than the way that, like, the liberal media has presented it, okay? Having said that, it is still really up that America is using Ukraine continuously as a fleshlight instead of trying to settle this and then help Ukraine as much as possible.
And there's still no sign it's willing to compromise yet.
It's also crazy because, like, still we'll talk about me being, like, pro-Russia or whatever, and it's like, this is precisely what I said that was going to happen. It's happening in real time. And the people who said, no, it's never going to happen. Ukraine is inevitably going to win. Ukraine is winning the war. Ukraine is winning the war over and over and over again, demanding that, like, demanding that people throw themselves in the meat grinder and saying that Ukraine, when it leveraged, should have pushed for a ceasefire instead of being duped into relitigating this war effort at the behest of Western powers who literally suffered nothing in the process. They're all still yelling. They're still yelling. Ukrainian support for war effort collapses. Public sours on Washington. Loses hope for quick NATO ascension. London. Most Ukrainians now favor ending the war with Russia through negotiations. Support for fighting until victory has dropped sharply since the early days of the conflict. Although their hopes of joining NATO and the European Union have faded, and approval of U.S. leadership has plummeted, Ukrainians still see the EU, UK, and U.S. as a key to ending the war. Yet most doubt that will happen anytime soon. More than 3 years into the war, Ukrainian support will continue to fight until victory has hit a new low. In Gallup's most recent poll of Ukraine, conducted in early July, 69% said they favor a negotiated end to the war as soon as possible, compared with 24% who support continuing to fight until victory. This marks nearly a complete reversal from public opinion in 2022, when 73% favored Ukraine fighting until victory, and 22% preferred that Ukraine seek a negotiated end as soon as possible. Like, the Ukrainians have had a majority opinion since 2024. The majority of the Ukrainian public has been saying Ukraine should seek to negotiate an end to the war as soon as possible since 2024. Support for the war effort has declined steadily across all segments of the Ukrainian population, regardless of the region or demographic group. This shift comes as diplomatic efforts gain new traction. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has signaled readiness for direct talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin, proposing renewed negotiations. The UK says they're ready to send troops as the US leads the effort. Dude, this is what first of all, why would the US lead the effort as a nuclear power? And the UK is not going to send troops. They know that they're only saying that because they know America's not going to send troops. It's just like, there were so many off-ramps. At every stage, there were so many goddamn off-ramps. All the way from the Minsk agreement, all the way from, not even before then, 2008, George W. Bush on his way out being like, I'm going to bring in Georgia and Ukraine into NATO out of nowhere, all the way to the Minsk agreements, and not following through on the conditions of the Minsk agreements, all the way to the ceasefire negotiation that was put forward, a 15-point plan in Antalya, when Ukraine had the maximum amount of leverage and Russia did not have control over nearly as much Ukrainian territory as it did. Every single step of the way I said, now is the best time. Now is the best time. Yesterday's the best time to put an end to this. Russia is waging this war in their minds, in their estimation, in the estimation of the third world, at the behest fucked over by American imperialism, while Russia is engaging in irredentus acts that are unconscionable and unjust and violent and totally immoral. That is the analysis that the rest of the countries around the globe are looking at. That is what they're looking at. They're looking at Ukraine as an extension of the West, and they're looking at, you sound like Israel asking Hamas why they won't just agree to a ceasefire. What do you mean? Hamas has put forward 1 million ceasefire proposals. Israel's the one who them. No, your analysis is busted here. This is, of course, also completely, you have to be completely oblivious of the conditions on the ground, and not only the conditions on the ground, but also who America is funding in this situation. America has complete control over Israel. They can stop Israel's genocide tomorrow. They don't have the same control over Russia, a country that is a foreign adversary that has designed its entire economy to withstand American sanctions, clearly demonstrated by the fact that they have continued their war for years at this point. Do you not understand? The best possible solution to this was to bring China to the table and come to a reasonable proposal. Okay? Russia is a foreign adversary with nukes. Israel is a foreign ally with nukes. America has complete control over Israel. Saying that Ukraine should just make a deal with someone who has no interest in making a deal? Brother, Russia most likely would have taken that deal when they actually incurred penalties and could not literally overtake Kyiv in this supposed military operation that was going to take a week or two. That's why I'm saying Ukraine had maximum leverage at that point. Now it's too late. They already dug in. If Russia wanted a deal, there would have been one. I think that the deal that was presented was already super on Russia's side. Okay? You're never this pragmatic about Palestine. That is literally not true. That is not true. That is objectively untrue. I have demanded a ceasefire in Palestine as well. I have celebrated the efforts of short-term ceasefires, even that allowed a moment of respite for Palestinians, even with the full knowledge that Israel is going to continue bombing anyway. Literally, you've been in here. You've heard my words. Do you think Ukraine should just give away some land just because Russia wants it? No, I don't. And I think it's a non-starter at this point, regardless. I don't think they should. But what the fuck is going to happen at this point? Remember, Russia is a foreign adversary. Israel is not. We have complete control over Israel. We do not have complete control over Russia. And my advocacy always has been to bring China into the table so that there is at least a more managed, like the guy behind Russia, the country behind Russia that has tremendous global power is China. Okay? So this is not even a conversation or a bargain that you need to do directly with Russia. You need to fucking bring China to the table. Okay? That's what you're supposed to do. But instead, we're taking the worst possible outcome here, which is to take Russia at its word when they keep saying over and over again that they're, especially because they're dug in at this point, they are using American politics, a lack of interest from regular Ukrainians to continue this war, as an opportunity to demand more land that they've already had. That's what happened in the last negotiations process. It's ridiculous. The only way to put an end to all of this is by bringing China to the table as well. Why would China go against Russia and with America? Because they're the most pragmatic on the planet. That's precisely the same reason why China has never stopped trading with Israel in the same process. They're trade maxers. They're trade maxers through and through. So any opportunity that actually stops instability in global trade is an opportunity I think China will take. China is not, especially when it comes to its foreign policy, China is not this like socialist USSR adjacent country that you think it is. This is not China's fight. No, this isn't China's fight. You're right. But China does have a lot of influence over Russia. Brenda Charles and Mr. Hahn will never admit the U.S. and Western allies including the Ukrainians have not negotiated a near equal footing with Russia and led them to fight until they lost their footing and are now overwhelmingly in the weaker position. Not only that, but also America's like saying that they want to take over minerals in Ukraine too, whatever that even means. China wants the war to go on forever. They know in a second it's over and they will shift the forces to China will be next on the chopping block. I think that since China is trading with Russia, it means that China has to trade. It's not just because of trade. China is a country that's backing Russia. But there are two poles currently, like there were in the Cold War. If America is the one leader, China is the other one on the opposing side. This doesn't mean that they're like heavily involved, but you can absolutely make a deal. You can absolutely make a deal with China in mind. Instead, America has basically decided to go on the full tilt China tip, and we're just trying to bite off more than we can chew. Ukrainians don't even want to keep fighting this war, so Chowder's yelling at you should go fight in their place. I mean, sure. Support for the war effort has declined steadily across all segments of the Ukrainian population, regardless of region or demographic group. The shift comes as diplomatic efforts gain new traction. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has signaled readiness for direct talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin, proposing renewed negotiations, while U.S. President Donald Trump is attempting to pressure the Kremlin with the threat of sanctions. Despite these moves, the conflict continues largely unabated. Daily missile and drone attacks persist, and fighting remains intense among multiple sections of the front line. Lasting and active fighting not expected to arrive soon. Though a clear majority of Ukrainians now favor a negotiated end to the war as soon as possible, most are skeptical that active fighting will end soon. When informed, 25% think it's likely that active fighting will come to an end in the next 12 months. Although only 5% see it as very likely. Over two-thirds, 68% think it's unlikely that active fighting will come to an end in the next year. Ukrainians Sauron Watson will see a role for U.S. and defense negotiations. Ukrainians' view on the most prominent military ally have shifted decisively since the early months of the war. In 2025, 60% of Ukrainians approve of U.S. leadership. No shit. While 73% expressed disapproval, a record high. All the goodwill that Washington built up in 2022 when 66% approved the U.S. leadership has evaporated. I mean, it's literally been a nosedive ever since, though. Let's be real. Zelensky literally proving you right. Back during the meeting in the U.S., he said there should be only fighting, no talks, and now he walked it back, and the majority of the Ukrainian population is also. So what are these shadows saying? Yeah. Ukrainian goodwill towards Washington evaporates. No shit. It is especially a no shit moment after Donald Trump literally pulled Zelensky to the table to bully him and yell at him, and then also got duped by Vladimir Putin, who dangled like a potential ceasefire negotiation and then made Donald Trump embarrassed for proxy. Yeah, why would China care? Also China. China brokered the Saudi-Iran deal, driving wave of reconciliation, says Wong. I mean, there's a difference here. The reason why they did this is because it's beneficial for both parties for them to no longer war over Yemen. Tensions between Kyiv and Washington have risen in 2025 after Trump's return to office. A tense meeting between Trump and Zelensky in the Oval Office late in February coincided with a temporary pause in U.S. military assistance. That was insane. By contrast, perceptions of Germany have improved significantly this year. Leadership approval of Berlin has reached a record high of 62% despite Germany's more cautious stance in the war's early months. Approval of Russia's remains negligible, 1%. While China continues to receive low ratings, 8%, as it has since the war began. Despite sharp disapproval of U.S. leadership, most Ukrainians still view Washington as having a meaningful role to play in resolving the conflict. 70% believe the U.S. should play a significant role in peace talks, in line with views towards EU countries. 75% and the UK 71%. Although some negotiations have recently taken place in Turkey, 55% of Ukrainians supported significant involvement, notably lower. The only ones riding for fucking The only one screaming Slava Ukraine is the Turks.
Hostiles are engaging objective
Again, you're
Delta.
saying Ukraine is responsible for the start the war with Russia. You're also saying Palestine is responsible for the start the war with Israel. It's the exact same situation, minus who backs them. Minus who backs them.
You are exiting
Who
the
backs them,
combat
I think, is
zone.
a
Turn back
pretty
now.
big deal, don't you think? Donald Trump could quite literally end Israel's actions, as many American presidents have, with one phone call. Donald Trump can't make a million phone calls and get Vladimir Putin to do his bidding. So, no, it's not the same situation. It's not the same situation at all. Having said that, if you're looking at it from the most reductive lens, a much larger country pummeling a smaller country, because Ukraine and Russia is two sovereign states fighting one another, okay? One party is obviously overwhelmingly in the wrong and doing the wrong, okay? The other party is simply defending itself. Then yeah, on that front, yes, Israel versus the Palestinian children that are being slaughtered in the frequency is, it has some similarities, yes. One is an irritating attack from a foreign adversary. The other is a foreign ally which has decided to do whatever the fuck it wants and can simply do whatever the fuck it wants to a country it is the belligerent occupier of already. It's like saying India versus Pakistan is like Israel, Palestine. It's the dome shattered, yeah. You can simply force Russia to stop by invading them. Dude, why didn't America think of that? That seems like a brilliant idea. You can make your allies who have entertained the comforts only because they're your permanent allies do things. You can't do that to an adversary. An adversary with nukes that has designed his entire nuclear arsenal around fighting back against America. Unless you think that, like, unless you think ban all trade. I mean, sure, I great. I don't have an issue with that. I mean, I want it to be done to Israel as well, but they did already do that. That's why Donald Trump is entertaining secondary tariffs to India now, because India is like a way for Russian oil to enter the global market. And don't cede Stalingrad, just take it. The definition of world war is when two great powers directly fight. For your information, there is no world war in the current stage because World War II ended with a nuclear bomb. That is the reason why there is no more world war, unless we get to an environment where we just open up the permission structure to entertain nuclear holocaust. It's just, oh, mini nukes, tactical nukes, it's fine. It's like a baby nuke that was launched against a country that doesn't have nukes, you know, that type of thing. What is Ukraine isn't at fault for what Russia does? When did I say Ukraine is at fault? What do you think? I think that, like, oh, well, Ukraine's just standing there looking hot. Is that what you think I'm doing? I'm not. I'm not saying it's at fault. Why would Ukraine be at fault? Russia is the one who invaded. That's an entirely different conversation, which I'm not even entertaining at all. Ukrainian children are also slaughtered and you don't talk about it? No, I do. I do talk about it. He saw AI video of you slaughtering things. African-American Palestine measures. I don't really believe there were easy multiple off-ramps for Ukraine to settle before now, as any areas under Russian control basically get butchered. No, there were. It wouldn't have been an easy off-ramp, and Russia certainly might not have even entertained it for a long enough time. This is true, right? There is no assurance that Russia would not have continued its military incursion into Ukraine. They very well could have done that. Okay? Just like Israel. But my argument always was, okay, so you're back to square one, but you should always entertain a ceasefire. And at that point, if it could have been crafted and followed through on, then additional land grabs that Russia engaged in would not have happened. Anyway, how can you expect to negotiate if you can't trust your enemy to not reinvade and the ceasefire and Russia broke it? I mean, here, I'll give you a great example. Hamas. You can see me yell at Hamas for doing a ceasefire, even though I also said Israel is most likely going to violate it? No, I didn't say that. You want to know why I didn't say that? Because I'm not stupid and bloodthirsty. You're yelling at Ukraine for Russia violating the ceasefire? Wait, what? No, I'm not. I think a lot of you guys simply want me to say, like, there is no peace for there's no opportunity for a ceasefire, and that we need to, like, invade Russia or something. Okay? No, you're talking about the second round of negotiations under Trump. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the first negotiation that took place when Biden was president. That's not what I'm talking about. Analysis Putin's claim that war on Ukraine is to target Nazis is absurd. Here's why. What is this? This is my analysis too. It's so stupid. I've never lent credence to Putin's idiotic claim that like he was denazifying Ukraine. I don't know why you're saying this to me. I've actively made fun of this idiotic argument, which is, of course, the same argument that Israel also tried to launch. Hopes for quick entry to NATO EU fade further. Ukraine is longing for its desire to join the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is seen by many. This is never going to happen. It was always a non-starter, and every single European ally, including the United States of America, knew that it was a non-starter, and it was actively lied about it in the media, while simultaneously sometimes being truthful. Russia has the world's weirdest Nazi Dugan. No, I know. But also, look at ACP. We got some weird ass nationalists ourselves. Why? Why can't it happen? Well, look at Ukraine right now. Why does not Ukraine and Georgia get NATO? Why can't Georgia or Ukraine get accepted in the EU or NATO? That's the only way to survive, it seems. This is where you have to assume that the opposition, no matter how bloodthirsty, still has like some semblance of logic in the way that they behave. They do not want to be encircled by the enemy. Why can't Cuba or Canada and Mexico join the Chinese military alliance? Yeah, it's similar to that. You don't know, but what you're talking about is Ukraine will be in NATO the same year that Turkey will join. You mean the same year Turkey will join the EU? So why didn't they invade the Baltics or Finland when they were floating NATO? Well, because Finland did the NATO thing expertly. They joined only after they realized that Russia did not have the capacity to also open up a new front. That's why.
Our troops are attacking
Before the invasion of Ukraine, Finland had not joined NATO at all. It was not something that was entertained. There was a blanket neutrality. Now Finland has to do 5% GDP. Good luck to the Finnish chatters on Americanizing the Finlandization of NATO. I NATOize Finland. Finland has been taking advantage of us for years. That's right, believe it. It's time for Finland to no longer take advantage of us. You're an American talking to an American audience that has at least a small chance to influence our government to stop enabling genocide. We as Americans are not enabling Russia's imperialist expansion. All of our politicians already hate Russia, but they love Israel. Chatters want you to expend equal coverage of Ukraine for literally no political gain. Chatters don't understand that. No, but I have also covered Ukraine. Of course, I've covered Israel far more than I've covered Ukraine because we have far more involvement. And we have also far more power over ending the bloodshed in Gaza than we do over ending the bloodshed in Ukraine. You left Austin Show's birthday. Exactly. In Finland, we're literally Americafying. Our right-wing government is following Trump's policy step by step. Help us. No.